Welcome back to 10 Minute Tuesday here at the Dojo. I'm your host, Matt Lear, and we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to play a clip for you from last Thursday's podcast, episode 21 with Ty Jennings. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, go back and do so because it's going to benefit you. It's full of tactics. It's full of mindset stuff. Ty is definitely a black belt and knows what he's doing. I had a great time talking with him. I think you're going to enjoy it, but let me set up this clip before I play it. I'm asking Ty how important gear is to him, and this is his answer, and then we're going to come back and talk about it.
You could give me a 5-gallon bucket and a stick and a string and a sharp stick to shoot with, and I'm going to do the same thing. That stuff is nothing. It means nothing. And I know everybody hates that, and they love all this gear, and I love it too, but it's so far down the list, it's not even funny. You need nothing. You need proficiency with any weapon, and you need to just be out there and you need to find the deer. It doesn't matter the camouflage, the brand.
I absolutely love that answer from Ty. Before I jump in and give you my take on it, I'm just going to say this, kind of verbally process out loud here. You know, when you start a podcast, you put yourself out there for anybody's feedback, and that's positive feedback and negative feedback. And by the way, I mean, I really do appreciate both, but sometimes it gets in your head, like, should I say this? Because if I say this, it may ruffle some feathers, but I'm going to go ahead and say this because when I think back to why I started the podcast, it really is to help others reach their fullest potential, in the woods and in life. And it's also to help others avoid some of the mistakes that I made early on in my career. And one of those mistakes was focusing way too much on gear. And I mean, I wanted the suit that kept me scentless, and I wanted the box to keep the suit in, to keep the suit scentless, and then the spray to spray down the scentless suit, and then the rubber boots, and then the spray down the rubber boots to keep me all scent free. And then I needed the bow, and I needed the certain arrows and the certain broadheads, and I needed the certain grunt tube and all these things. And I bought all of them, and I researched all of them, and I went online on back then there were forums, and I would talk to everybody and ask everybody their opinion, trying to find the best gear that was going to unlock the secrets to deer hunting. And guess what? I did all that work, all that research, and I bought all the right stuff, and it never unlocked the secrets to deer hunting. And I think back, why did I do that? I mean, 15 years. Why did I just continually do that? Well, the narrative that I was being fed told me that's what I should do. All of the guys that I looked up to in the industry, all the videos that I were watching, I mean, there's one in particular that I remember. I'm not going to mention the video or the product, but this guy does an amazing shot on a buck. He gets down on his knees on the stand and he shoots the buck. And immediately after he shoots the bucks, he stands up and he pulls out his wind indicator and he starts blowing it. And it's showing that the wind is going directly towards that buck. And he's like, it's the suit. It's the scent blocking suit that I have on. This is proof that it works. And I remember watching that and going, oh man, I need to get that thing. And I went out and I spent $500, and as a poor, 20-something-year-old kid, just, trying to make it, every dollar stretch as far as it could. I mean, that's how important it was for me to take that money and spend it on that, because I really thought this was what is going to bring me, success in the deer woods. And it didn't. None of it did. And the industry that we are a part of, and we are a part of it, right? Because we are all on Instagram, Facebook, and we're hashtagging and mentioning these products and doing free commercials for these companies. And you've heard me talk about this before, but we've bought into it. We actually think that our worth comes from these companies and these products. And you may go ahead and argue with me. Before you do, I asked you to go back and look at your posts and look at all your hashtags. Why do you need recognition from those companies? And I get it. I used to do it, and I didn't do it too long ago. So I'm not, this isn't the pot calling the kettle black here. But what I know is it didn't bring the success that I so badly wanted. And even when I got retweeted or reposted or whatever, it never brought me the satisfaction that I was seeking. What brought me the joy and the success that I so badly wanted was when I stopped focusing on gear and I went out and I started focusing on deer. And that's what he's saying here. That's what Ty is saying. Now, Ty actually says, not in this clip, it's part of this clip, but he says, look, I probably spend more time on gear than the average guy. But comparatively to how much time I spend on the deer itself, it's almost nothing. So he spends more time than the average guy, but comparative to time he spends in the woods with the deer, it's almost nothing. And so that has been the case for me too. When I made the shift, I started finding success. And so this is what I want to challenge you guys on today. How much time are you spending with your gear? And okay, I love gear, by the way. Okay, I really do. I spend time on it. I buy good gear. I'm a little bit of a gearhead. I like making it perfect. But comparative to the scouting that I put in and the time that I put into learning deer, like Ty, and Ty's way more successful than I am, it's almost nothing. So I want you to stop and just look at yourself right now. Are you getting the level of success that you would like? And how much time are you spending on your gear? If the answer is, yeah, Matt, I'm a deer slayer. I have all the success that I've ever wanted, and I spend a ton of time on gear. Well, good for you. Then don't change a thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I got a feeling there's a lot of guys listening to this who are looking for, information that's going to help them kill deer. And this is not a tactic, but this is something that will help you. Stop focusing on the gear. You can buy a bow and arrow from Walmart and go get it done. Just like Ty said, you can sit on a plastic bucket in a loincloth with a stick that's sharp and you can get it done. But you can only get it done if you spent the time looking for the deer, learning about them, scouting the land, understanding how deer use it. Those things are way more important. So if you're looking back and you haven't found that level of success yet and you've been focusing on the gear, that is why. The industry wants us to think that the gear is going to be the thing that helps us kill the deer. It absolutely is not. Please, I beg you not to dismiss this podcast today. This right here, what Ty is telling you and what I'm telling you, is the most important thing you can hear if you haven't found success yet. The answer to what you're looking for. What is the secret sauce to killing deer? Knowing deer, learning about them, knowing where they are. You have to find them. Knowing the land. You got to know how to navigate the land and where to set up. That will kill the deer. No camo. Listen, camo doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of bow you have. You just have to be proficient. It has to shoot well. And guess what? The $350 bow from Walmart is going to shoot well. Now, I shoot a Matthews. After you get some success, fine, gear out. That's fine. But right now, look at yourself, ask yourself this question. And if you've been focusing on gear and you haven't found this success, shift now. I know it's summertime. I've scouted all weekend last weekend, and it was hell. But I'm telling you what, it set me up for the fall. Get out there, learn about deer, forget about the gear, and I promise you, you will start to see more deer and you will start to have more success. So that's it. I'm off my soapbox. That's all I have to say for this 10-Minute Tuesday. We'll be back Thursday with a full podcast, and then we're back every Tuesday with the 10-Minute Tuesday.